Now, this weekend, Parliament has been hosting the P20 Youth Parliament, a youth-led policy dialogue in the build-up to Youth Day on June 16. The event is a precursor to the P20 and G20 summits that will take place in South Africa later this year, under the theme Youth Economic Participation, Employment and Opportunities, developing a medium-term youth development agenda for South Africa's youth. Now, National Socio-Economic Convener for COSATU Young Workers Forum, Zandile Sizane, joins us for more. Zandile, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, the theme in itself is a mouthful when it comes to the challenges young people are facing on a day-to-day, because South Africa's unemployment rate has reached crisis levels as you and I speak, because we know that just in the first quarter of 2025, it reached one of its highest points ever at 56.3%. Quite telling as we look to what will come out of these meetings.
Good evening to you and good evening to your viewers. It was indeed a fruitful meeting that we had, a meeting that we were simply just talking about what has been done, what has not been done, and what should be done. Unemployment in this country, in terms of youth, of young people, it is at a crisis stage. It is at a crisis stage, and a lot needs to be done. More especially in businesses, when retrenchment comes, the people that become retrenched is young people. So it simply just increases unemployment. Young people being contract workers, they are workers for 4 months. After that, they're unemployed. So upskilling young people is very much important, and we should indeed look into the issue of when there are global changes. When technology advances, we should also advance the skills that we have within the country, so that young people are able to get jobs and as well as create their own jobs.
And the event is a build-up towards the P20 and the G20 summits to be held later this year. But when it comes to its significance, what kind of message are you hoping to send through these talks as you elevate the conversations and look to solutions?
The talks that we hope that would happen in this particular G20 is that young people must not be left behind. And the young people agenda is quite important, because we are the future as well as the present. And we should also look into the issue of the curriculum within the G20 countries. G20 countries, the summit must not just be some talk shop, but countries should be sharing ideas. And because within the G20, we have countries that have got a very low unemployment rate. So those countries that have got a very low unemployment rate should be sharing ideas on how are they getting it right? How are they making sure that in their countries there's a low unemployment rate? The G20 should be sharing of ideas.
The overlapping of P20 and June 16, what does it represent? More so as we think about the role of active youth participation in determining South Africa's democratic future.
The overlapping, it's showing that in June 16, it's every single year, as much as we commemorating the young people of 1976, but it's also a time that we are doing a reflection as a country on, is there something to celebrate in terms of June 16, in terms of the current youth. And the current youth have got nothing to celebrate, because young people are dominating the unemployment rate within the country.
Yeah. So in efforts to affirm the youth's role and influence in shaping the country, in the midst of all the challenges, what assumptions do you think at this point need to be done away with as practical solutions emerge? I mean, you speak about an important point of reflection.
Young people should be playing a huge role in civil societies. Civil societies is quite important on a political level, as well as organizations that are within our community, because young people, if they want to be heard, they should be involved. And that's what we're also lacking within the country. Our young people are not involved in civil societies, and as much as they should be involved politically within the country. because that's where their ideas are going to be heard. They need to bring forth ideas, solutions. Young people must bring solutions for young people.
Do you think that there is a platform to have these solutions heard and implemented as we look at the country's current state of affairs?
The platforms are quite scarce. Young people are struggling to get their views heard across the country. It is not much of platforms that we have as the young people of South Africa. And more platforms should be created for young people within our communities.
Very well. Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us this evening as we wrap up that discussion with the National Socio-Economic Convener for the COSATU Young Workers Forum, Zandile Sizane.